Hey everyone, and welcome back to Rodi Underworld. One of the most beautiful aspects of storytelling is witnessing a character's absolute transformation. Change is hard for anyone, but when a person is pushed to the edge, placed under extreme pressure, they often have no choice but to change or break. And no show captures this brutal metamorphosis better than Breaking Bad. We watched a harmless, even timid high school chemistry teacher morph into a ruthless drug kingpin. And it was all done seamlessly, without any forced, cheesy treatment. This leaves us with one massive question. How does a man summon this level of power? What are the psychological triggers that truly flip a person? And where did this buried, destructive ego come from? That, friends, is the Heisenberg formula. The series introduces us to Walter White, a mild-mannered, even timid high school chemistry teacher struggling with crippling financial issues. He's so down on his luck, he has to work a second job washing cars. He's not respected, he's often ridiculed. But his true breaking point starts when he learns the terrifying truth about his own body. He has cancer, and not long left to live. When a person stares their own mortality in the face, they will inevitably make radical choices. Walter needed a legacy, a nest egg for his family. He chose a dark path, using his superior chemistry knowledge to cook meth. His former student, Jesse Pinkman, would handle the distribution. And as their operation grew, a volatile new element entered the equation: ego and hubris. The first psychological catalyst we must focus on is death. The knowledge that he was going to die soon was the initial push. The philosopher Martin Heidegger famously explored the relationship between death and humanity. According to Heidegger, living with the consciousness of our eventual death allows us to truly embrace life. Accepting your own mortality frees you. You become bolder, more aggressive, and creative. Heidegger says, if I take death into my life, I can be free for myself. Walter was forced to accept his expiration date. He would be dead in a few months, and he didn't want to leave his family with nothing. This forced acceptance became his liberation. Let me know in the comments, if you knew you had a limited time left, what would be the most radical choice you would make? But here's the interesting paradox. After just a few jobs, Walter starts earning serious money enough to last his family for many years. So why does he keep going? Why doesn't he walk away and enjoy the time he has left? This tells us he is far more complex than a simple family provider. Breaking Bad is filled with symbolic details, and the most prominent is Walter White's alter ego, Heisenberg. The name relates to the cornerstone of quantum mechanics, the uncertainty principle. This principle states you cannot know both the position and the momentum of a particle simultaneously. Similarly, the particle itself has a dual nature, acting as both a particle and a wave. Walter White possesses this same dual nature. The mild-mannered family man, Walter White, and the cruel Baron, Heisenberg. But as the family man piece starts to decay and disappear, we realize Walter White wasn't the good person we thought he was. He was harmless and timid, yes, but he wasn't good. He was cruel when he gained power. The popular assumption that Walter White was a good person who turned bad is flawed. He was a scared, harmless man whose impending death simply allowed the repressed ego and selfish desires to surface. The final piece we need to unpack is perhaps the heaviest burden any man can carry: unrealized potential. Walter White was a supremely intelligent man. He was gifted in chemistry. He contributed to Nobel Prize-winning research. But where was he now? Teaching high school chemistry? Struggling to pay bills? The greater a person's potential, the greater the pain when that potential is never realized. The drug empire gave him back the power he always craved. His chemical genius allowed him to produce an unmatched quality of meth, and this gave him a sense of superiority he had been denied his whole life. That power was a high better than any drug. Throughout the series, Walter constantly lied, even to himself, trying to play the sacrificial father, but he was only fooling himself. He needed the power. He needed the respect. He needed to feel like Heisenberg. Do you think Walter's ego would have ever surfaced if he hadn't received the cancer diagnosis? Let us know your theory. If we sum up Walter White's journey, he technically succeeded. He made millions. He avenged his enemies. He left a fortune for his family. But he also lost. I told you, Breaking Bad is rich with metaphors. Perhaps the most beautiful one is the name of one of the series. Most critical episodes, Ozymandias. This name belongs to a poem by Percy Bysshe Shelley. The poem describes a traveler finding the ruined statue of an ancient king in the desert. The inscription reads, "My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, the mighty, and despair." But all around the statue is empty, desolate sand. The powerful king is gone. His works have vanished. Even the statue itself is broken and fading. Like Ozymandias, Walter White's immense ego and power could not compete with time and death. When the time comes and no trace of his empire remains, even the pride he amassed will be meaningless. That is the tragic, inevitable formula of Heisenberg. Do you think Walter White was truly redeemed in the end? Hit subscribe to Rodi Underworld for more deep-cut analysis and tell us your answer below.